done this bit before. It's still funny every
It's funny every time. It's like fart jokes. They are always funny.
All right, welcome everybody to the first episode of the Coconut Curry, formerly known as the Wash Athlete Podcast. We've been talking about it for a while, but the name has finally changed.
Yes.
The Coconut Purry.
Purry?
Purry.
Whoa, we're already got one messed up right there.
Fire start. The Coconut Curry Podcast is off to a start, and so is the NFL football season, which we are very excited to talk about today. A lot of interesting games, and that's pretty much it. A lot of interesting storylines going on here.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah. So week 1 just started on Thursday.
Yes.
Lions, Chiefs.
There's a lot that went into that game, though, because Chris Jones was not playing. Travis Kelce was out, even though Chris Jones then ended up being in the stadium, which was very weird. Watching him just sit up in a booth with his two mob boss lawyers next to him. That was
I don't think I've ever
interesting.
seen anyone on a holdout attend the game.
Yeah.
Like the way he did too. It was very casual. It wasn't like he was on the side holding out and was just like, yeah, I'm with the team because contract disputes. He was legit chilling up in the box.
I think he was there because they were doing the banner reveal.
It's I wanted to, I helped raise this banner. I deserve to be here, but it's dude, no one's telling you not to come.
Yeah.
You're holding out.
Yeah.
Mahomes is washed.
Mahomes is washed.
We'll get to that eventually with our over and under reactions.
Yeah. But Lions take down the Chiefs 21-20.
That was a great game.
It was a great game. It was a great start
game.
to the season because
Yeah.
I feel like you got the Super Bowl champions from last year, Chiefs playing, which always you
Yeah.
want to see. But then you got the Lions, who's next to maybe the Bears and Justin Fields,
Listen,
everyone's
man,
favorite team.
We're just gonna go out there. We're gonna bite some kneecaps,
We're gonna
man.
bite some kneecaps. We're gonna, play hard. It's just Lions way, and that's pretty much exactly what.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the Lions for that. Everyone loves Dan Campbell. And so pretty much, I thought the matchup was really good for Thursday night, start of the season.
Kadarius Toney.
The game was pretty mid.
It was
not gonna
the
lie.
game itself. The result was exactly what you wanted. You wanted a scrappy game that the Lions ended up coming out on top. I want that's the result you wanted. The game itself was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was bad.
The Chiefs receivers, I didn't think that anybody looked at the Giants 2021/2022 receiving cores and were yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
We need all of those guys that can't catch. We're gonna put them on our
Chiefs
team.
saw the Giants model and was yes.
Yeah,
They made the
works.
playoffs last year.
we're gonna do it. It's
Yeah.
guys, you made the Super Bowl. Stop taking our bad players. What are you doing?
Mhm.
Because it was oh, Kadarius Toney, he's gonna be the next Tyreek Hill. The Giants just didn't know how to use him. Oh, Richie James had the highest completion percentage rate or whatever
Catch
weird
percentage.
analytical statistic
Something
that people are
dumb.
trying to argue
Yeah.
means that he's good. Meanwhile, Richie James, I think, played 2 snaps, dropped a pass. Kadarius Toney,
I'm trying to figure out if they
knee
just
how, my friend.
I'm just trying to figure out they thought Sky Moore was farther along than he really was.
Because he's got he clearly has the potential to be good. It's just he is so raw. Still. Still.
Mhm.
And they're not giving him the
Awesome.
keys. They're running him on jet sweeps and end arounds and
Yeah. So it's
flat routes. They're not actually sending him deep.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw Mahomes throw a deep pass to him besides that play that he dropped at the end.
Yep. There you
Mhm.
Which was it would have been a hard catch for him to catch, but
you're an NFL receiver.
it
Make a
hit your
catch.
hands, and there's a lot of those where it's just yeah, maybe it would have been a hard catch because even the one that Kadarius Toney dropped at the end of the game when he was wide open, he had to turn around for it. But it's at some point, we're not asking you to catch the ball and run another 20 yards. We're asking you just to catch
the ball
and
and fall right
Yeah.
down right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Because the way the schematics that they drew up for the the routes they had the receivers running, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are they are an incredible offensive duo.
Yeah.
It's insane. And yet somehow they just found a way to lose that game, and it was so fun to watch.
I just I like Patrick Mahomes walking out with his he has that Patrick Mahomes walk.
It's the trot.
Yeah, it's the Patrick Mahomes trot, and he just keeps going out like that. I'm man's just gonna be let down by his receivers again and again.
It's- yeah. This
He goes back out and he's all right, and then
Yeah.
he's waddling all around, going all around, shifting his hips, getting around the ball, toss the ball. It kind of reminds me of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl a little bit, where he's just chucking all these decent passes, getting away from it. No one's getting separation. People are dropping the ball. It's hitting the guy in the face mask.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Was it Jerick McKinnon that did that? That, hit him in the
Yeah, in the
face?
Super Bowl, yeah.
That was
when
that was
Patrick
bad.
Mahomes went sideways and did all these
yeah,
things and it
yeah,
hit
yeah.
McKinnon in the face, and you're just what's going
The
on?
greatest incompletion of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to this day.
So that felt like the Chiefs to me. I think we'll talk about it a little bit later, but just this game, if you're actually an analyst, this game meant nothing. I don't think the Lions really were that impressive.
No, they really.
The
The defense looks good. Their
because-
offense,
We got to remember they got 7 off of the
pick
drop.
6, yeah.
Yeah, the pick 6. That was not really Mahomes'
Yep.
fault.
Yep.
But they got 7 off that, so they only scored 14 points
Mhm.
on the Chiefs defense,
Which
who's
is
still
fine.
young,
Yeah.
and it's not like the Chiefs really did much that was good. So,
Yeah.
but they'll get Trav back, and I have to believe since Chris Jones was at the game,
I think he wants
expects,
to play.
Yeah, I expect that he will be playing for the Chiefs at some point this season.
Mhm.
If not, the Chiefs have no shot to win the title. Chris Jones is that good, so I expect that to be resolved. But it'll be interesting to see the Lions heading into that game. Side note from this podcast. The boys are watching. We're recording this at Sunday at 9:17 p.m. and they're watching the Giants game. And I'm assuming something not good just happened.
Just give it a sec. We're gonna move on because there's a flag down right now.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
No,
They just threw another pick.
Great.
Currently, it's 19-0. Giants just threw another pick. I am not having a fun night.
Moving on to Browns Bengals. This is one of the games that it just like everyone
ugly game.
Everyone was on the Browns on the betting spread.
Yeah.
Like people like the Browns in this game because of the Browns Bengals. Like the Browns have always seemed to have the Bengals number. But my God, 24-3.
That was one of the worst games I've ever watched. It was 0-0 for like a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the NFL. What are we doing?
And they've got Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, and they were a pretty good team last year and the year before. Obviously, they went to the Super Bowl, and they just had no answer for the Browns.
Yeah, like the Browns, they're not that good. Like, yeah, they have Nick Chubb. They have a good offensive line. They have Amari Cooper and
like the Browns
Deshaun
are good.
Watson.
The Browns are a good team. Like I could argue that they're like a sleeper team that could possibly sneak into the playoffs if they have a good season. But if you had told me before the game started, the Browns handled the Bengals, I would have been like, wow, Deshaun Watson came back. Like he's back to his old self.
Yeah.
Deshaun, extremely mid-game. Like 150-something yards, I think, like an interception.
And he genuinely threw the worst pick I've ever seen in my life. He was rolling to his left, was trying to do the Aaron Rodgers sidearm throw, throws it 10 yards down the field directly to a defender with no one within 10 feet of it.
Eli Apple would have dropped it, though.
Eli Apple would have obviously dropped that. But that went, like, you couldn't have an easier catch like that in practice. Like, that dude stood still, caught a pass. Like, it was horrible.
I think this game told me that Deshaun Watson is not going to ever get back to his old self.
No,
because
I think that old self, I think, is gone.
Because it's not like the Bengals defense is like super terrifying that like I would have been like, well, that's the reason he played bad today. Like
they're good, but
last year I chalked it up a little bit to like, he hasn't played in a minute.
Yeah.
But he had the whole offseason. They had training camp and all that kind of stuff. And when you come out today and your team dominates the Bengals on the scoreboard, but you didn't do anything super impressive yourself, I'm kind of like, I think the Browns are going to have to try to think of a way to like get away from Deshaun Watson or cut the contract.
Well, that's a $200 million guaranteed contract.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know if you're really getting away from that.
You're not getting away. You're just going to keep hoping.
Yeah.
Hope he has those moments.
300, I can't remember.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's an absurd amount of money. So, Bengals need to bounce back. This is part of the problem when you don't play people during preseason. I mean, they got injured during Joe Burrow got injured during training camp. Not his fault, but you don't get in rhythm. And the only thing I'll say on the Bengals end, and we'll talk about this again a little bit later in our over and under reactions, is just if you're the Bengals and you start off the year this way, the AFC is loaded and your conference is not easy, and you
need every single win.
And you're already down 0-1, and you just hope that this doesn't, like last year they started 0-2 and they started like 1-3 or something. Like they didn't start off well, and the AFC is really tight this year. Like getting a wild card spot is going to be like you have the Chiefs and the Chargers in the same division. They're fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
The Bills, Dolphins, and Jets are going to all be there. So
I mean, hey, the Patriots gave the Eagles a run for their money today.
Yeah.
So you have to very much be careful, and to lose a game to the Browns to start off the season is not what you want. So they have to go back to the drawing board a lot and figure that out. And it's also with the side note that T. Higgins is not coming back at the end of the year.
No, and he had a very bad game today.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, obviously, fantasy owners are very heartbroken. Raj had him on his fantasy team that he actually needed him on, whatever.
0 receptions, 0 catches, 0 yards. Donut.
Okay.
Okay.
This is my $50 league too.
Okay. But I completely lost what I was saying. Yeah, so I think with T. Higgins, it's going to be cool because obviously you have to pay Jamar Chase. Like you have to.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, I think, is already on a team-friendly contract, so like there's nothing.
Yeah,
really he's like a perfect he's going to stay on the Bengals forever.
The only way he wouldn't stay on the Bengals is if some other team like tossed him a bag. Like I kind of think like the Patriots, who are like,
I can see them just randomly.
Maybe Tyler Boyd could be a number one receiver in the right situation
for some reason. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it's gonna be a mercenary bid. It's gonna be the highest bidder who's
Yep.
gonna be able to get him, and that could change a team.
Yeah.
And what terrifies me is that the Chiefs might get him, and that really, really scares me. Because
And-
if Justin Ross and T. Higgins get on the same team again,
Yeah.
like on 2019 Clemson, I'm going to scream.
Touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown. Giants are now down $1 billion. I love my life.
I'm gonna say it right here. Giants on the money line.
You are a moron. I told
I
you
will
not.
place $1 on it right now if you do. If you place
Wait,
$1,
Giants
I'll do
money
it.
line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you were saying spread. Wait, hang on.
No, no,
what?
no, Giants money line.
You're a moron.
It's free.
You are paying
place
Vegas.
it right now.
I want to make it very clear. I said last year that the Jaguars money line, it was free during the Jaguars Chargers game, and I didn't bet it, and I lost I could have made a ton of money. I sat here in this living room or family room, whatever you want to call it, and I said that I should bet the Jaguars, and I was not 20. I was not 21.
So you
and
couldn't legally do
I
it.
couldn't legally do it, and I did. So I didn't have. I didn't even reach out to anyone, and I will always regret that decision.
Well, currently it's 26-0. Oh my god, dude, that wasn't a pick. Oh my god.
It is a tough look.
They just replayed the interception that the drive started on for the Cowboys, and it bounced off of the turf. And I don't know why they didn't replay it, but I'm gonna lose my mind.
Gotta challenge that.
Anyway,
Moving on to Ravens Texans. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think that
ugly game.
exactly
like,
what happened.
whatever.
Fun fact: this is scoregami. There's never been a score of 25-9
25-9 has never
in
happened.
NFL history, so
Yeah.
that's interesting. You don't really see 25 a lot. That's like a very strange
No, it's a
number.
very weird score. Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to point out CJ Stroud, clean game, no interceptions, decent passing rating,
Mhm.
like all around. So that's cool to see. The thing I was most concerned about CJ Stroud was that he was going to toss a lot of interceptions and whatnot. So
How many did he throw?
today?
Yeah.
0.
Oh,
we throw none.
No, he's,
Oh.
he was
that was Bryce Young.
Bryce Young
yeah,
threw 2.
2. Yeah, he was a clean game. J.K. Dobbins, unfortunate ACL injury.
That's so sad. I feel so bad.
He just
for
doesn't
him.
play in the. He wants to play, but he can't. He
I
just keeps
know.
getting hurt.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, especially as you think about like the
Made
rushing attack for the
$41.
Ravens. You think about Lamar getting his new contract, and you're like, okay, let's move
Mhm.
off Lamar in the rushing game. Let's have him pass more. Give the ball to J.K. more on that running game, and you have a dual threat like read option. And now it's just like your best running back is gone for the year, and you're probably going to rely on Lamar to run again. And
Their backup looked okay, but I mean, again, like this really isn't. This is kind of like a footnote in today because it's like it was just like an ugly game. Nothing really to write home about. Lamar didn't have a great game, but like he didn't have to have a great game because the Texans are bad. So it's nothing really.
exactly. I mean, I think 16 points. I don't know what the spread was opening the game, but like if you told me that the final score was like what the final score of the Ravens Texans game would have been, I would have predicted something along this line.
Yeah.
So
Quick
game. I did want to spend a little bit of time though on the Bucks Vikings game.
That was
because-
a weird game.
this game was super weird. So like, I mean, obviously we can't watch every game in real time. So I went back and looked at the game highlights and looked at the box score.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the arc for Baker Mayfield. Just
He has like the Western gunslinger vibe
Yes.
of like he shows up in a town, he makes it like his own, and then eventually he gets ran out of that town, goes to a new town, makes it his own. He gets ran out there, and now he's in Tampa. He's doing his gunslinging again,
And
he's dropping his head to get first downs
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter.
And I
Like,
love that he doesn't have anyone behind him that is at all threatening. Like it's Baker's job for the year. And
Hey, Kyle Trask.
it's-
Don't disrespect.
They would have
Shush.
already played Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
So it's Baker's job for the year, and he can do what he wants with it, and that makes me like. I'm just excited that he has like the full season of runway.
A hot take. I like Baker. Like I know he's not good, but I like him.
He's funny.
He's fun. Like I like him. He's just like he's kind of just like a big jock that like puts his head down and runs through people. And like I just like that because he's kind of an ass sometimes, but I like that. Like
And,
he's
since
fun.
he's been a journeyman, I think he has this like low key maturity to him.
he's
that, like,
humble now.
yeah, he's like humbled like in press conferences
Yeah.
and stuff, but when he's on the field, he's still like flexing when he like runs down into someone. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he got ragdolled by a dude on the Vikings, but he still got the first down. Got up, immediately started chirping him.
Yep.
Like without hesitation, nearly started a fight. I love it.
Like I might watch more Bucks games this year because I want to see. Like,
Genuinely, because I like watching Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
exactly.
They might blow the. They might lose by 40. I don't care. I like watching
Yeah.
them.
I'm sorry, Jacob's team putting up 29 points today is crazy.
Ooh, that's rough.
But this is stereotypically how you lose a football game if you're the Vikings and you're the better team. You
Yep.
have 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles by your quarterback
Yeah.
in the first quarter,
Yeah.
and then you throw a red zone interception, and that's just the perfect way of losing a football game when you're by far the better team. Because if you look at the game highlights and just the stuff, you're like, Justin Jefferson had a good game. Kirk Cousins threw for 300 yards. And you scored 17 points on the Bucks, which are not like a great defense. but it's because you turned the ball over 3 times.
Yep, because they just lose possessions that they could have scored on.
Yep. Because it's a 30-point game. You easily, if your red zone interception turns into a touchdown and you get field goals on the other 2 plays, we're talking about you covering the spread.
Yeah.
And beating the Bucs. And now you're losing.
Now you're losing.
Mhm.
Exactly. It's that was everybody was so high on the Vikings, like all these sports analysts. They were like, the Vikings are easily going to win this division. Meanwhile, it's like they looked like ass against the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were putting up points against like a very young and bad Giants defense in the playoff game, and they didn't work it out, and they got worse in the offseason. Their defense looks bad.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But I will say, this does not mean the Bucs are good.
No, God, no. I want to make that very clear. The Bucs are very, very bad. This is not complimenting the Bucs at all. This is just that the Vikings are not as good as people say.
I think the Bucs need to do this thing where they try to sell at the trade deadline a little bit because they have some really good pieces defensively, but their team is not good enough. Mike Evans is not coming back.
They need to just rebuild
next year.
They
So
need to rebuild.
I think they really should try to ship off some pieces to like contenders and try to get like a first or a second. For a team like the Eagles, if you're trying to trade one of your linebackers away, the Eagles could really use that, like get a first or a second.
Oh wow! So you just want the Eagles to just get everybody?
I do, yes.
We need to sell our soul for a ring.
But I think the Bucs should really start to like sell people away because it's just not. They're not a good team. Even like scoring 20 points on the Vikings, unless their defense massively improved and I'm unaware about it. That's just not. Impressive.
Devin White requested a trade at the beginning and then like stopped.
But then he played well. He played well today. So I'm just like, I guess he's happy. I guess he just wants to play football.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jordan Addison. He had a decent game, like catching some balls,
he had a good game.
Getting involved in the
hit product, not a USC product.
Absolutely.
I hate that the NFL always pushes that. He won the Biletnikoff, so that's the best receiver in the country at Pitt. He is a Pitt product.
Yep. So shout out Jordan Addison. I think that little fun duo there with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison's a really dangerous
17. I don't remember his name. That's on me. He also had a good game.
I know who you're talking about too.
You know exactly because it's 17, 18, and then 3. But
17 is KJ Osborne.
KJ Osborne, yes,
yeah,
KJ
good pull.
He always slips my mind, but he's a much like bigger receiver than Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and I think they have like a really good like 1, 2, 3 there.
Yeah,
where Justin Jefferson is the clear like number 1 wide receiver, but then you have a good jump ball receiver in KJ.
It's just a shame the quarterback is aggressively mid.
Yes, I was waiting for you to just say that he's bad. No, you're right. He is aggressively mid, and you know.
Today exactly shows like you have 1 interception in the red zone, not great, but 1 interception is fine. But then you have 2 fumbles, one on just a mishandle off the snap, and then another one you just get steamrolled, but you don't hold on to the football, and that's that's what mid quarterbacks do. They just like they can have games where they like he lost the game for the Vikings today. Next week they'll lose against the Eagles, but the week afterwards he might have like a perfect game where he throws 400 yards and no turnovers, and you'll be like. He'll be dancing with his chains and shotgun and beers.
Exactly. Well, no, he's not shotgun and beers. He's a family man.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
For anybody wondering, the quarterback documentary came out. It's on Netflix, and we got to follow Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and
Marcus
Mariota. And what we found out is that Patrick Mahomes is like the exact same person that he is on TV. Dog. Marcus Mariota, very, very humble, very chill guy. Would love to meet him. Kirk Cousins is your friend's white dad.
Yeah.
Yep. Like you've met Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
He treats his NFL career like it's a 9 to 5.
And I don't blame him for it.
I don't blame him.
You got a bag.
He does.
Falcons, Panthers. I think I love the Falcons because they
are insane.
Because they do not care about Desmond Ritter at all.
No, they're like,
and they just are like, we're gonna go full into the Bijan and Tyler Algier, like run out the back.
Rock.
Yeah, and I love it. I think it's so fun
because last year they had the 4th best running game. I think
they had Algier and Patterson.
Well, yeah, because their offensive line was also really good.
That's true.
At least run game wise. I think pass wise, I think they're very bad. But they are just like, you know what? Screw it. We were good at the run. Get us another running back. We are running the ball more.
And if they're not running the ball, they're throwing it to people in the backfield.
Yep.
They've no regard, and they have some actually pretty big receiver targets downfield, like Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Kyle, I hate. I don't hate Kyle Pitts. Let me make that clear. But oh my god, I'm so tired of hearing every single fantasy guru say you got to draft Kyle Pitts. He's gonna get the targets this year. I promise, and he never does.
Well, the problem is now, if you want to draft Kyle Pitts, it's like you got today just indicated they're just gonna run the ball a lot.
They're gonna run the rock because it works
with Arthur Smith as their coordinator. Like that's what they're gonna do.
Yep.
And I mean that doesn't leave many touches open for
anybody else.
Yeah. So all 3 of their touchdowns today were Algier or Bijan. So no other person's catching touchdowns. Desmond Ridder threw 14 passes. So that's not great. I mean, he's 11 for 14. That gets the job done.
Yeah.
But
He's like Jimmy Garoppolo in that one playoff game.
At some point this year, though, I'm wondering whether they're going to give Ridder more than 14. Like they're going to
I think eventually they will.
Because they're eventually going to have to.
They have to be dynamic eventually.
They're going to have to try to get him up. Number one, they can win the division because the division's so bad.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to try to do that. Because if they win the division because running backs burn out easy. But if they win the division this year with Bijan, is 100% worth the draft pick because of the extra money and attention the Falcons will get.
Oh,
it would be worth it in 1 year financially.
Oh, yeah. Also, Falcons defense, low-key good.
Maybe, potentially.
Panthers just might be bad, but we'll
maybe,
see.
Yeah. And that's what was weird about the Panthers is just like on the one side you had like Desmond Ridder who like just playing a mid game, like put the brakes and the what do they call it, training wheels on him.
Mm-hmm.
But then Bryce Young throws 38 passes.
Yeah, 38 passes. And apparently his number one receiver is Jesse Bates.
Yes.
The safety for the Falcons. Because he threw the exact same pass twice to Jesse Bates.
2 interceptions, pretty much a 50% completion rate. Not the game you would have hoped for him. Now, fortunately, when you're that good in college, no one's like leaving this game going.
I don't think anybody's worried about Bryce Young. I think it's just that he is young.
Yeah.
But he's clearly very intelligent, and he threw the 2 picks. Like, yeah, it's an NFL defense. Like, you're gonna throw 2 picks, but I don't think anybody's worried right now. Also, Carolina offensive line,
but where are the targets?
Don't worry, Adam Thielen's corpse is out there.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Mingo's pretty good,
and DJ Moore is not on the team anymore.
Oh, thank God.
So that's very good for Bryce Young, but definitely an interesting storyline. Like that, I'm curious to see how he plays next weekend. Falcons are clearly better than the Panthers, so they're, I guess, the team to beat. I think they're the team to beat right now in that division.
Because who is it? It's Tampa Bay.
It would be otherwise. It would be the Saints, and we'll talk about the Saints in a minute.
Derek Carr was playing a little suspect today.
All right, we just moved to that game.
Yeah,
Raiders, Broncos. No, it was my bad. Saints. They pretty much
had thinking Raiders because of Carr.
Yes, and pretty much the scores of the game were the exact same. Saints take down the Titans 16-15, and what I would like to call a mid-off.
Yeah, they were fine. Like it was just like the Titans just made stupid mistakes, and then they just like lost.
But like they don't have any dynamic players on their team, so like
DeAndre Hopkins was getting seat belted by Marshawn Lattimore.
The entire game.
Lattimore's really good.
Lattimore's very good, so that makes sense.
And you got kind of like a half washed up Hopkins going in against the best corner with a new quarterback who is mid. Yeah. So
and Chris Olave is good.
Chris Olave is good.
Still intact is good. So
Slant Boy caught a pass today.
Oh yeah, Michael Thomas caught a couple. He caught like 5 or 6. Maybe.
I'm surprised he didn't pull a hamstring yet. But
okay.
Yeah, so I guess it's a good win for the Saints. There's not much to say, much to learn from the game because again, I think Titans are like, there's 17 games in a season, right? So like, are the Titans like 7-9, 8-8? And then
so like
Saints are like maybe a 9-8 team.
Yeah,
like so
they're fine.
16-15, also a really weird score.
Yep.
So that's that game, but in terms of Saints Panthers for the Saints Falcons for the division, who do you think's got the edge of the division?
I think
Saints. I think have a low. Okay, Saints have a lower or higher floor. Falcons have a higher ceiling.
Yes,
I could definitely because if Desmond Ridder actually can be somewhat decent, he's got the weapons on offense, and their defense looks solid. But I think the Saints, just like they have a lot more experience everywhere. Like their defense is a lot older, a lot more vets out there. They've been proven to be very good. And you have somebody like Derek Carr go in there, and he did have a couple Carr moments where he just threw up a terrible pass. But if he was able to get in sync with his receivers, he has Chris Olave, he has Michael Thomas. Eventually, when Alvin Kamara comes back, he's got Kamara. They've got Williams from Detroit. I forget his first name. Jamal Williams. Thank you. So I think
great interview guy.
Oh, he's awesome. I love that guy. But yeah, I think they definitely have the higher floor. They're going to be more consistent, I feel like. But if the Falcons go on a run, they could be a hard team to beat.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Falcons can get really creative with that offense, but like you said, it's like they've eventually got to open up the Drake London, Kyle Pitts pass game to pair with that.
They need to
backfield, and if they don't, they're going to be really predictable.
Because then it's just okay, we're going to stack the box with 9 people. You only have 6 people.
Especially for a Saints team that can play against the Falcons, which that might end up, those 2 games could decide Those because if you go 2-0 in those games, it might decide a
And a
division.
Saints front seven is very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like,
So
and if you're gonna be able to just load the box and play 1-on-1 with like
Mhm.
Lattimore and London 1-on-1, and Lattimore wins that battle, then
Yeah.
suddenly you're in a position where you can get away with playing man defense and load the box and then
Exactly.
stop the run.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
definitely like I saw the Saints and Titans end at 16-15. I was like, it's exactly what I expected.
Yeah,
The
just
Saints and Titans
Just
game
a
to end up
low scoring game.
low scoring, boring game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about that real quick. I guess Derek Carr is like okay in the Saints. He's 1-0 in the Saints jersey, but
Yeah.
I
He
think
looked fine.
to be honest, maybe it's how Derek Carr wants it. I just feel like Derek Carr has become a lot less interesting since going to the Saints. Like once he got traded, I was like, wow, that's kind of. Once he got moved on from that, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then I was just like, I don't really care anymore. And then the Saints played today, and not one part of me was like, oh, I wonder how Derek Carr's playing. Like I don't even know what his stats are.
Yeah, I don't even know either.
I think something. It wasn't anything crazy.
He
good.
threw
It
like
was just
one, maybe 2 picks.
Yeah.
But it was like fine. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he threw a lot to Olave. I think Olave had like 180 yards receiving.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
And they only scored 16 points.
Yep.
yeah, they couldn't really get in the end zone, and they
Yeah.
couldn't get the run game going either.
Yeah, they couldn't get the run game going really.
That's the shock me.
Yeah, like Jamal Williams' best run was the last run of the game.
Yeah.
It was where he ran for like 5 yards,
Mhm.
got the first down, and they just
Yeah.
need it.
Commanders Cardinals. Yeah.
Sam Howell is the truth,
Dude, he's the truth. He threw like 4 picks.
He threw like one.
It was a bad pick.
It was
man.
a really
Okay.
bad
It was
pick.
worth
It wasn't 4 picks.
It was worth 4.
I'm a Sam Howell guy. Okay.
Bro, it was against Arizona. They traded everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what this means in terms of like, are the Cardinals better than we thought, or the Commanders just not good at all?
Well, so Commanders defense, good. Like they are
Yes.
very, very good. Yes, let's see. He had an okay game. It was 202, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Yeah.
77 rating, 61 completion. That's like literally aggressively mid.
Yeah.
Maybe one more touchdown would be like truly mid, but like
Yeah.
but that was like an aggressively mid game. I just like clowning on him because
Yeah.
he's the Commanders.
As
guy.
you should.
But I think Commanders defense looks really good. Emmanuel Forbes, their rookie corner, was playing very well.
Mhm.
I think I think as a rookie corner, just to kind of go into like a veteran defense,
Yeah.
is like pretty easy. But like he was clearly playing very well. The Commanders front 4 is disgusting. Every single person on there, I think, is at least 270 pounds and athletic, which is terrifying. And they were just mauling the Cardinals all game. But the fact that the Cardinals even put up 16 surprised me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, like, are the Commanders like not that good, or the Cardinals? Because I'm gonna be honest, I think people have been dogging on the Cardinals like a little bit too much. I'm not saying they're not going to be a bad
Look
team.
with Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. I mean,
yeah.
you're gonna
Well, I
get
think that I just think like, I mean, I'm going to defend Josh Gannon a little bit here, which is hard for me to do as an Eagles fan and how last year.
Oh,
ended.
I mean, I think with the Cardinals defense with the weapons that they had, which that they didn't trade away yet.
Mhm.
Sorry, there was a sack. Of course, the Giants got sacked. Whatever. But I think with the tools that they still have in that defense, I think they did a solid job. I mean, you're holding an NFL team to 20 points. Like
Yeah.
that's like with how like high scoring some of these games have been over the past like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty solid game
Mhm.
for a defense. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I think Josh Gannon's got a lot of stuff because especially he had the I want guys who have like fire in their belly.
oh god,
and, like,
he can't motivate me to eat a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Like holy
But-
crap, it's insane.
So I'm curious to see how this plays out this year because obviously the Cardinals have Kyler Murray who's hurt. But if they're the worst team in the league, they can draft Caleb Williams. And if they're the second worst team in the league, they can draft Drake May. And maybe if they're the third worst team in the league, they can draft Shedeur Sanders. So
That's a bold
Ooh.
move.
Actually,
So-
no. Shedeur Sanders, he's the truth. Him and Travis.
Also, if you're not drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. over
I
him,
I agree.
you're insane.
I agree.
Okay, good.
But they have options at quarterback. So now I'm just curious like how they'll finish out for the year.
Mhm.
Because not a lot of teams today made arguments for being like one of the worst teams in the league. What? Let's see. What? Shank.
okay.
Update for everyone.
So the Giants kicker, he shanked it very far left.
We literally just extended him
So-
like 2 days ago.
So what,
Second no.
so what we're talking about is
He's a Pro
Giants
Bowler
are down
for 3
26-0, kind of heading into halftime. Everything's going wrong. They kick the field goal to get 3 points and just shank it left. So currently,
I love being a Giants fan.
So yeah, I think it's enough Commanders Cardinals talk.
Please. I'm so done.
Yeah.
Move on. Oh, Jags Colts. I like this game. This was fun to watch.
It is a fun game to watch, and I kind of don't know what my takeaway is
The
because
score does not reflect this game.
No.
yeah,
The Jags won by 10, but this game might as well have been a 1 point game
yeah,
because Anthony Richardson looked good.
mm-hmm.
Like actively good against a pretty solid Jags defense. What was the Eagles coordinator that's coaching them now?
Doug Peter.
Steichen. Oh,
Are you talking
Jags?
about the Colts?
Colts.
Shane
Steichen,
Steichen.
yeah.
Shane Steichen, yes. I forgot that they're both ex-Eagles.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
You know, the boys are around the place.
Yeah, the boys are buzzing. But yeah, Shane Steichen, because wasn't he the one that like essentially made Jalen Hurts into not like made Jalen Hurts, but like
he was there the entire time.
Yeah.
he was able to like unlock Jalen Hurts' potential and really like build him up. I mean, looking at Anthony Richardson, he looks like a modern Cam Newton. I know it's going to be a hot take. I know everybody's going to be rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh my God, it's been one game." I understand.
Here we go again.
We are in the sports industry business. We need to overreact to get clicks, okay? But listen, I'm telling you now.
Put that on a poster.
Yeah, put that on a poster. We're here to overreact. That's our job. So I really think the way, because he looked raw. He made some bad throws. He threw a bad pick. Like, there's a lot of stuff. But seeing him be able to run past people, run like into a defensive tackle and not have that dude able to take him to the ground and then also be throwing bombs down the field, that is terrifying. That is genuinely terrifying. In a division that is already bad, I could see the Colts figuring this out because their defense looks really good because they were shutting down the Jags for most of that game. And like they had like I think there was one that was like a little bit weird where it was like, everybody thought it was an incomplete pass, but then it ended up being like a fumble that somebody recovered.
It was something really weird.
It was some very odd play that was returned for a touchdown, but I do think that the Colts defense did look very good.
And then you had the Ridley show in the first half, and then he did kind of like nothing in the second half.
Yeah, they shut him down.
Mhm.
So I think that like as a first game, like you kind of look at the second half and look at that a little bit more. I do like what Trevor Lawrence said to Anthony Richardson at the end of the game, and he was like, "You're great, but like be careful about taking those hits, man."
That was the biggest thing. Watching that game, because I was watching Red Zone, and one of the announcers was talking, and like once they cut the audio into like because it's like Red Zone, so it's like sometimes they don't have the audio synced up. But then once they cut to the actual audio of the game, the announcer goes, "Wow, I'm really worried about Anthony Richardson taking all these hits as he is like getting tackled, and then he doesn't get up." And we're like, "Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Don't tell me he's already hurt off rip."
It's the Colts QB curse.
It really is. Well, because they had to bring in Gardner Minshew for, I think, a couple drives or something.
It was the last.
Yeah,
I'm still pissed about that.
It was, yeah. But it was because he wanted them to cover. But
It cost me $55.
it is very, very true. I think Trevor Lawrence is very right in that sense. I think that's what derailed Cam Newton's career. I think that is what happened to RG3, to Andrew Luck.
It's not about like that he's gonna get hit and he's like not like a Tua situation where he's gonna get this head injury or these concussions, or
no, he's just gonna digress over time.
But it's like the wear and tear over time that you're concerned about, and it's very easy to in your beginning of your career just to go out and try to ball and make those plays.
Yeah.
Because I mean, listen, he'll get his name out there. Cam Newton, one of the most popular athletes in the world for a short period of time, but you want to make sure that you last a lot longer. Someone like Patrick Mahomes, who does the crazy,
like a 10-year contract,
does the crazy things, has a 10-year contract, and no one's doubting that guy for years and years and years to come. Same thing like with Joe Burrow, who can again he does a lot more like not flashy things, but again is going to be around for a long time. So I hope to see Anthony Richardson throughout the year develop into a quarterback.
Really fun to watch.
Yeah, I hope he develops into a quarterback where we say, oh, this is he's going to be a guy who can sit in the pocket and play those pocket games, and then when he needs to get outside the pocket,
he can just scramble and he can run.
Do that.
Yeah. And then, like in desperate situations, he's also 245 pounds and 6'4" and can lay the boom if he needs to.
Yep, absolutely. So, fun game though. Jaguars took care of business at the end of the day.
Yeah, they won.
It's really, really good to see Calvin Ridley back on the field.
He is so good. I am so happy that he's back, and I think he looks so much better. Like he looks significantly better than he did at Atlanta. And I think that's saying something because he was always like, oh, he's the number 2 to Julio Jones. But now he is the number 1 receiver on that team, hands down.
Yeah. There's a lot of players I'm really happy for today who played well, and they'll come a little bit at the end of our week 1 breakdown. but one of those players is Calvin Ridley, where like,
Yeah.
I get the suspension was his fault, but he's a really, really good receiver. And now he's on a good team with a good quarterback, and I'm excited to see them play throughout the year. Because even, I mean, fantasy's not everything, but he was not a top receiver on like fantasy or anything like that. And I mean, he's that guy. He had a lot of points today.
He's a dog. Yeah.
And he's got a good team, and that division is aggressively mid. We keep using the word aggressively mid, but it is aggressively mid.
It's the NFC South and AFC South are both they're mid,
and the Jaguars can win that division with ease and rack up a lot of wins. So we'll see how it goes. A game that I don't think many the national media was all over the Steelers plus 2.5 on this game. And the 49ers went into Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, PA,
and took a big old dookie on the middle of the field. Like,
it wasn't close from the first quarter, and it wasn't close to the end of the fourth quarter. There was not one point in that game where you said the Steelers are going to win this game.
Nope. There was not a single snap of that ball that had me thinking, you know what? The Steelers have a shot.
Yeah.
The second that the 49ers started playing, it was, they're going to win.
They're just a lot better.
This team is a lot better. Yeah, because you're right. Because the national media, like, of course, living in Pittsburgh, I have a lot of family from Pittsburgh. I love the Steelers. I am a Giants fan through and through. I love the Steelers because they're a very passionate fan base. But sometimes they can lean into a little bit of the delusional fan base. And, oh my God, if I hear another Steelers person say, you know what? They're just dogs, man. You don't get it. You can't have Mike Tomlin be an underdog at home. This is the first time they're going to be opening at home in like 10 years. You don't get it, man. The 49ers, they're rusty. They're going to come in. And I'm just sitting here thinking, so the 49ers have one of the best defenses in the league. You're going up against a very young Pittsburgh offense. And Brock Purdy, before he got hurt, was leading one of the best offenses in the league.
Yep.
How are the Steelers going to win this game? And I was thinking, I was like, how are they going to win this game? How are they going to win this game? And then, but everybody's saying they're going to win. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's going to be a dogfight. And then Christian McCaffrey ran for like 70 yards. And I was like, okay, that's not going to happen today.
It was just, you try to stay away from what the national media is always saying, because sometimes it's just a lot of like talking. But there was a very large consensus around sports people who know football.
The Steelers to -2.5. It's
plus
free.
2.5, yeah.
Or plus 2.5.
Yeah. There's a very big people were like, they're either going to win the game or they're going to keep it extremely close. And it just was never close the whole way through. And I mean, I feel like this Brock Purdy story is just getting like blasted all over the place, but the guy is good at football. Like it's just
like of course you two are Eagles fans, but like I feel like you have like a sense of like a respect for him because it's because I think honestly I think everybody really does, because like there was a point where it was like, okay, maybe he's like a little bit overrated, but it's the fact that he just keeps being good. It's like I don't know what to say, because it's like everyone's like, dude, he's not that good. He doesn't really make that like many good throws. He just throws check down. It's like, yeah, you know who else they said that about? Brady.
And like even if he keeps throwing checkdowns, like
he's winning.
And they want to be like he's a system quarterback. Like the 49ers have been kicking people's ass with Brock Purdy at quarterback, so like it doesn't matter.
And also by the way, he can throw deep balls.
Yeah.
I want to make that very clear. But when you don't have to throw a deep ball and it's a lot less risky to throw a shorter pass and it's working, why wouldn't you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to be a home run every single time, because it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, going into this year too, the narrative with the 49ers was like, well, it'll really depend on how Brock Purdy plays at quarterback, and that might be the reason. Like, it might be the Eagles or the Cowboys over the 49ers, and
the Steelers' defense was good.
The Steelers
are good. They are objectively they are good. TJ Watt had 3 sacks today.
Yeah.
They are good. Like, the only thing about the 49ers that I'm kind of worried about is their right tackle, who's bad.
Yeah,
but I think he's a rookie. But
he is, yeah.
But again, it's like
horrible matchup for him in week 1.
Literally one of the best edge rushers in the league. Like, that was insane
of all time.
Like, he's on track. I mean, well, he already tied the sack record. So,
That's true.
But he is. That was a terrible matchup. I felt so bad for that guy. But it was very, very obvious that like the Steelers' defense historically has been good for the past couple of years. It's always been the offense has been the issue, but the fact that Brock Purdy just carved them up, and Christian McCaffrey obviously is being Christian McCaffrey, like he's running for 1,000 yards and like catching,
which I'm happy to see, because through some of the injuries and being on the Panthers, it was like,
he
man,
might be washed. Kind of like,
is this another running back that's going to kind of end out of the league a little bit early?
Yeah,
and that's just not the case.
Yeah, because it genuinely just seems like he was like it was just the wear and tear on his body from physically carrying the entire Panthers organization for multiple years was just like getting to him. And it's like, oh, well, we'll trade him. And then he gets on a good team. And then he starts looking like his old self. And it's like, maybe when you don't have to take a hit from a 280-pound defensive lineman every single play, and you get out in the open field, you can actually be good.
Indeed. A game that I kind of feel passionate about. Raiders Broncos.
Are you serious?
What?
Bro, this game. Wait, you actually watched this game?
I don't know what happened in that game.
I couldn't tell you a single thing about
this game. I
this
didn't watch
game.
a lot of the game. But just even looking at the score, I'm just like
17-16.
After all this talk in the offseason from the Broncos and all the Sean Payton's going to bring everyone, it's going to be great. Our defense, if our offense scored 18 points, we would be 10-0 or whatever the
stat was. Yeah.
But all this kind of stuff, and the Broncos come up today on a not good Raiders team and put up 16 points at home with Sean Payton back in the fold, with everybody there. The only guy who's not there is Jerry Jeudy, and just not good. You're down 0-1 now. I mean, granted, the whole division, besides the Raiders, are leading the division right now, so that's good. But I think if you're the Broncos, this is just a really, really bad situation for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible game to watch. But to have the Raiders, with Jimmy G, and they've got some interesting pieces on offense, but their defense is nothing special.
Still have Devontae Adams.
Yep, and I mean, it's not like the Broncos defense didn't do their thing, holding the Raiders 17. But
like that's again, it's like great defense. That is the Broncos' curse, is that they have a great defense and just a bad offense now.
And it was all supposed to be Sean Payton's going to come help this team, and I'm sorry, 16 against the Raiders is pretty unacceptable.
That's booty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Raiders' defense is not that good. They got Max Crosby. And that's about it.
The Broncos will run into a lot. I mean, the Chargers and the Chiefs defense is better than the Raiders. So within division, those are harder defenses for you. And there's going to be a lot of other ones on their schedule this year that will be better than the Raiders. So not a good start for them.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a really short period of time on this game, even though myself and Roger are Eagles fans. Patriots lose to the Eagles 20-25.
Up. Oh, wait, yeah, Patriots.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said the Eagles lost. I was like, nope.
Yeah. Yep. Eagles beat Patriots.
It was just an ugly game.
It's just an ugly game. Eagles, the spread was 4.5. Eagles win by 5.
Barely cover, whatever.
Barely cover. It's kind of what you expected. The weather wasn't great.
It seems like, weather wasn't great. It seems like a little bit of the Super Bowl hangover of just they just need to get into the gear.
Eagles also looked like a team who didn't play in the preseason, which they didn't play in the preseason. A little bit concerned about their middle of the field and their linebackers and their safeties, but we'll see.
It's the Eagles. They'll figure it out.
It's Nakobe Dean,
new
Blankenship,
new coordinator. They
got to work out the roster.
But a guy I'm really happy for is, honestly, I didn't think I was be saying it's Mac Jones, because his job has been questioned a lot. I like the clown on Alabama because our friend Jacob loves Alabama, but I'm pretty happy that Mac Jones had a good game today, because for a guy who was a first round draft pick, played really well at college, I'm just really happy that maybe for one season, we don't need to talk about Bailey Zappi taking his job, and maybe we don't have to talk about a guy getting drafted over him. So it was a good game from him today. So I'm just happy that, I don't know. I like to give guys a chance in the league.
Also, Zeke looked solid.
Yeah, Zeke looked like
he had 7 carries for 29 yards for 4 yards per carry.
But also when he got the ball, he looked really good. He looked dynamic. He looked really light and quick on his feet.
Looked a lot. He looked healthier.
Yeah,
genuinely just healthier.
So I'm also happy for him, just kind of getting buried in Dallas a little bit, goes to a very mature organization.
Yeah.
The Patriots are definitely one of the teams that I think you want to see least on week 1, because you always know they're going to
Belichick will figure you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while you don't know your own team, while you're still trying to figure stuff out.
Belichick knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
So I am happy that the Patriots, not Patriots, Eagles got out with a win, just because I don't want to be paying the Patriots. You know they're going to be good in the trenches on O-line and D-line, just no matter what.
They're going to be perfect on special teams too.
The opposite is right. You have the Bengals in week 1 who have a bad offensive line, so they can be had in week 1 when they haven't figured stuff out. Meanwhile, you're never going to just destroy the Patriots because their lines are good and they'll be prepared for the game.
Yeah.
So moving off that game, another game we're not going to spend any time on. Rams Seahawks, just so strange that the Rams kind of handled the Seahawks when the Seahawks had this low key good season last year, and then the Rams were awful, and then Cooper Kupp's not playing in the game, and then
I think it's just Matt Stafford is back to full health, and he is a significantly better quarterback than Geno. I love Geno, awesome story, Giants legend. But Matt Stafford is a better quarterback, and somehow the Rams found another random white receiver to throw to. They somehow found him. He had like I don't even know his name. It's some rando. Like just you can try to like look up like the leading receiver for the Rams right now, but he had like 10 catches for like 100 and something yards, no touchdowns, but like he still looked like an animal. Yeah, it's Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua, yeah.
Puka Nacua. Okay, we're probably butchering
BYU.
that, but out of BYU, he looked.
Oh, but I mean, they have Tutu Atwell has 119 yards receiving.
Yeah,
Tyler Higbee is 49. I mean, it's just like all around the board. On rushing, you have Kyron Williams, 52 yards. Cam Akers has 22 carries, 29. Like just like Matt Stafford, 34 yards, no touchdowns, no intercept. Like just
I think Sean McVay dialed up a good offensive script, and it just worked.
Yeah, and for this will be interesting down the line for standings because I don't think the Rams are that good. I think the Seahawks are mid. But what does that look like for the division? Because the 49ers probably just run away with it.
I mean, easily, because Arizona's irrelevant at this point. So.
Yeah, so I think that's like, if you're the 49ers, you're like, this is great because you don't think the Rams are going to be that good.
And now they just stole a win away from the Seahawks in division. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And the Seahawks were at home.
Yeah.
So that's all huge. That to say, 49ers had a good day.
Yeah, 49ers are very happy today.
Yep. Game of the day.
Definitely.
Could be a game of the year. For the Dolphins, Chargers.
I feel like wasn't Dolphins Chargers last year also a really good game?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wait, no, did Dolphins Chargers play last year? They wouldn't have played last year.
No, it was the Dolphins Bills.
Something like that. Anyway, Dolphins take down the Chargers 36-34 and just like an offense explosion game. Again, another guy I'm happy for, Tua, like comes back. He's getting these concussions and he's having all these issues from last year and comes in and just has a great game.
Yeah, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was 28 for 45. Raheem Mostert. Actually, they really didn't have a run game. I mean, he had like 3. It was like 37 yards and a touchdown. But player of the day was one Mr. Tyreek Hill with 11 catches for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Tyreek Hill just always has this game during the year where he just like it just goes off and he's crazy.
Yeah, he was electric.
That's that's Mike McDaniel, Tua,
offensive guru right there. Yeah,
they can dial up a really dangerous game, and I mean, Chargers had their way. I mean, I'm like, should not be a situation where the Chargers feel bad about themselves.
Justin Herbert, 23 for 33, 228 yards, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler had 117 rushing yards and a touchdown, plus 47 receiving yards. So he had a combined over 150 yards combined. Keenan Allen had 76 yards receiving, like nothing too big there. But they actually had a couple guys. They had another guy, Joshua Keeley. Joshua Keeley. Yeah, it's a new guy. He had 91 rushing yards and a touchdown.
I just think what happened is the Dolphins were just better today.
I think genuinely, I just think the Dolphins have better weapons on offense.
This game would have been different because Brett Maher missed 2 field goals.
That is true.
Yep,
that changes everything.
That is true. I guess they would have won the game.
Yeah.
It would have been 40-36. But I mean, that's the woulda, coulda, shoulda. So sucks.
It'll be interesting. What's really interesting is for a team like the Chargers, it's just hard to lose these games because the Chiefs are in your division and you don't want to play with that wild card game. But also for the Dolphins to start off their season with a win against the Chargers on the road when you're going to have that division with the Bills and the Jets. It's a really good game from them. So, electric game. I'm looking forward to watching both of these teams down the line.
And obviously both defenses kind of were not that great, but very fun to watch. But I think both their defenses eventually will figure it out. I'm hoping the Chargers defense can figure it out because
the Chargers defense
have so many good individual players and they just can't put it together.
So many good players
because they have Joey Bosa, they have Khalil Mack off the edge. How are they not getting sacks?
Derwin James in the secondary.
They got
they had this other kid on the D line who's really good.
Someone.
They got a linebacker from the Vikings, not Anthony Barr. It was the other one,
Eric Kendricks.
They got Eric Hendricks and they have J.C. Jackson. He led the league in interceptions like 2 years ago, and then it just somehow they can't figure it out. Like who is the defensive coach? I think it's Brandon Staley.
It's Brandon Staley, yeah.
Brandon Staley. What are we doing? Figure it out.
Yep, and a really side note is that Kellen Moore's first day as OC of the Chargers went well. Obviously, they put up 34 points. That you just can't 36 to 34. Like you hope the kicker makes some kicks, but otherwise you can't
Can't believe he brought from the Cowboys Brett Maher out of
Yeah, who shanked 4 field goals in a playoff game or something.
Funny little storyline, but looking forward to watching those teams. And America's favorite bet this entire offseason was Justin Fields
MVP.
for MVP. And the Bears walked into Lambeau today,
got
smacked around the entire field on offense and on defense, and they let the Packers.
Oh wait, did you say that they were in Lambeau? They were in Chicago. They were in Chicago.
That's even worse.
They were in Chicago.
The Packers walked into Chicago with the 2024 league MVP and whooped them 38-20. And that game wasn't that close.
Nope.
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, all shaking hands.
So
owning.
Yeah, I
the
believe.
Bears.
Okay, it's gonna take one more game. It's gonna take one more game, but I do believe that if Jordan Love has another good game against the Bears, I think the transfer of ownership papers need to be handed over from Aaron Rodgers to.
The only thing I'll say is Jordan Love had like a 60% completion. It was not a great game from him,
but he had 245 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yes, I will say I think he had a good game.
Yeah,
but I will not it wasn't like he was the most efficient he could have been.
Wasn't that his first start too? It was like the first time he actually
it
was his first true start.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the parts that was very good to see was the Packers' run game was finally there.
Yep.
I don't know where this has been for the past 20 years with Aaron Rodgers, but apparently they decided now's the time.
Holy, Sean Clifford went in?
Yeah, he did. So they had like a running back by committee. They had Aaron Jones, Patrick Taylor Jr., no idea who that is, probably just some new guy. AJ Dillon is just the quad father. He's an absolute monster between the trenches.
I just don't understand how his quads are that big.
Like obviously he gets like the dirty yards that nobody wants to get. It's like the 3rd and 2s where they just stack the defensive line and he just bulldozes them. But yeah, Aaron Jones, I think he had over 100 total yards because he had some good receptions and he had 2 touchdowns today. Jesus,
I think he had a 50-yard reception today.
Yeah,
that went for a touchdown. Or
Romeo Dobbs, second-year receiver, looked good. Luke Musgrave, he was the dude out of somewhere. He was a rookie. He looks very good.
Claypool woke up feeling dangerous. 0 receptions, 0 yards.
Oh boy, yeah, that's on the Bears side. I tried not.
Musgrave's from Oregon State.
Oregon State, yeah, he was a very solid tight end. I remember that.
And I mean, all this to say, Christian Watson didn't play today.
No, he's out, and that is their best receiver.
Mm-hmm. So good on the Packers. I mean, that puts you in a decent spot to say, hey, maybe we can challenge the Lions this year. Bears shouldn't. I wouldn't press the panic button if I'm the Bears.
They're just young,
but I just would say that for all the little hype you got in the offseason,
that's
and
rough.
Justin Fields didn't have a bad game. 24, 37, 216 yards, touchdown, interception. Obviously, he rushed the ball like he usually does.
He's got 59 rushing. So he had a total of 270 total yards, something like that.
But it's definitely a situation where
they need to figure out their offense.
You want to feel like Justin Fields is commanding the offense a little bit more. Yep. And you just, I mean, listen, the clock is, I'm not going to say the clock is ticking on Justin Fields' time in Chicago, but people will grow impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with Chicago. This
is a 3rd-year quarterback now. This is not.
Yeah, this isn't. We gotta treat him like he's a baby. It's like no, he's been
this
there for a minute.
This isn't Anthony Richardson. This is not Anthony Richardson.
This is very different.
He's a lot older now. He's been in the league for a little bit, so he has to have the year. And for all the MVP hype he was getting, you just want to see him live up to it a little bit. But Justin Fields, I believe in you.
I don't
think I do either. But
well, you know what? You might not believe, but we hope that he ends up being good.
Yep.
We do hope that we hope everybody ends up being amazing. We know
we don't bet against them.
We don't prey on their downfall. He might. We as an organization do not, but
the Coconut Curry podcast.
The Coconut Curry podcast does not prey on players' downfalls, nor do we wish anything bad upon them. But we do.
Raj might.
Raj as an individual might, but we do understand the fact that we are also realistic and people do just suck ass.
But there's 2 of us, Peter and I combined, overrule Raj. And
yes.
Justin Fields.
It's the 2/3 majority.
Yeah. Moving to the future games, I guess the current game right now, Cowboys.
Can you pull up the score?
Yeah.
The Giants are getting mauled
26-0
by the Cowboys. It's 26-0.
It's so look.
The biggest thing I'll say before I take it to you, who's our resident Giants fan, is I don't really think you can draw any conclusions from a game of this type. Obviously, you can draw the conclusion that the Cowboys are better, but I think we knew that before getting into the game. But when you have a blowout like 26-0 in the first half, I can't draw any conclusions unless, of course, the Giants have a really good second half and can make some inroads.
Somehow.
I mean, again, they're not going to probably win the game, but from the Giants in the second half, you want to see them move the ball a little bit and them challenge the Cowboys defense and make some stops. And you just can't. There's only so much you can take from a game like this, especially like 2 special teams errors, pick six.
It was a pick six. I think it was like a pick six off of like a tipped pass,
or it might have been a fumble, like one of the two. Like,
yeah, I forget
up.
what, but it was like off of. I think it was off of Saquon's hands or something. But it's like it currently
14 strange points were scored.
Yeah, exactly. And there was also I think one of them was like an interception that I think hit the ground, but they didn't review.
Yeah,
I think they should have challenged. I obviously didn't. I watched it for like 5 seconds there, so I didn't actually get a good look. But I knew the Giants were going to lose this game. This is such a Giants loss. Having like finally having a good season, going in against the Cowboys. We're at home. It's going to be a blowout. They are going to blow it. It is it is such a Giants move.
Yep.
Because they cannot win in it. Because the issue is that like our division is it's a bloodbath. Like it is an absolute bloodbath this year because the Cowboys, I hate to say it, they're always good. Like they're never going to win. They're never going to go anywhere with it. But they're
never going to get to the Super Bowl.
No, they're just good.
Yep.
Like they're just a good team. Like you don't want to play the Cowboys because and of course now that they got Micah Parsons, who arguably could be the defensive player of the year this year if he actually.
So glad he's not playing linebacker anymore.
Oh my God, they switched him to full edge rusher now, and not even edge rusher now. They just have him a defensive line, and he's just a monster.
Yeah.
The Giants are very young, very very young offense. Defense actually has looked okay so far in the game. They've given up some PI, which they have 2 rookie corners. They have
TT.
That was a good one. They've given up a lot of pass interference. Not a lot. I think I've seen 2. One by Deontay Banks and one by Trey Hawkins. Both rookie corners. They also have another young safety that they're working in. They have Bobby Okereke from, or I think it's Okereke actually, from the Colts. First year here, he looks very good, but again, young. Micah McFadden, their linebacker, second year, young. The Tony Pollard just ran for 1 billion yards there. A lot of guys that have just come over that we signed on like 1 or 2 year deals or something like that. It's a very, very, very young team. Like I cannot stress this enough. And I knew going into this game they were going to lose. Period. End of story. But I think that this is honestly good because they're going to get punched in the mouth. All right. You're going to lose. You need to understand that you're not just going to be able to say, oh, well, we're all this, we're all that. You got to beat the best to be the best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Cowboys are one of the best teams in the league. As much as I hate to say it, they are. They're not going to do anything with it again. They're not going anywhere, but they are one of the best teams in the league. And
they'll win the regular season.
They'll win the regular season. And to get punched in the mouth like this, it's like, damn, I hate this. Let's never do this again. And guess who we're going to play next week? Arizona. Perfect team to take your anger out on. So this is exactly what I hope they do. I'm not
the Giants spreading the Cardinals games free.
Yeah, hammer the. Please don't take this gambling advice. I don't gamble at all.
I do. It's a good bet.
But yeah, I think it's just a rough look. It's a really rough look to lose at home like this. But I knew they were going to do it because it's such a Giants way to lose. But to get they won't get shut out. I know they won't. They'll figure something out, bro. It's literally the beginning of the second.
They're
half.
not gonna get shut out.
They're not gonna get shut out.
I mean,
You better go for it on every fourth down.
I mean, the Giants should have 6 points.
They should have 6 points. Yeah, exactly. And Daniel Jones looks terrible right now. But again, it's downpouring and 1 pick is off of somebody's hands.
And Daniel Jones also can't hold on to the ball as it is. So when in the rain, it's not like he's.
Well, he only had 6 fumbles last year. And of course, this is an absolute torrential downpour. Apparently,
well, not anymore. It's gone now.
Yeah, now it's gone. But of course, at the beginning of the game, it's like he was having turf stuck to his face. Offensive guards are terrible. That's going to be 110% who we're going to draft next year. Ball's out. Weren't you just saying how it wasn't pouring anymore? He just fumbled the ball.
It doesn't look like it's raining anymore.
It doesn't look like it's raining. But yeah, Giants, young team, a lot of potential. I think it's a good thing they got punched in the mouth at first because, you got to understand that you got to come back from this and you got to keep fighting. And I think they are showing a lot of fight right now. I mean, hell, Bobby Okereke just punched the ball out from Tony Pollard. They didn't recover it, but still, it's like you got to be fighting. It doesn't matter what the score is. You just keep fighting. Can't wait till both of our guards are gone at the end of the year. Get rid of them, draft new ones.
Yep. So you will be seeing this probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, a couple of days after the Bills-Jets games. My only preface for the Bills-Jets game will be there will be nothing I see during that game
That surprises me.
that will surprise. If the Bills came out and destroyed the Jets, I wouldn't be shocked. If it was a game of the year type of game, I would not be shocked. And if the Jets came out and destroyed the Bills, I would not be shocked. I don't know what to expect. I'm not going to draw any conclusions from that game because I don't know what to think.
The only score that would surprise me if it was just genuinely a bad offensive game.
Yeah. The only takeaway I'll get is if Josh Allen goes out there and him and Stephon Diggs aren't on a good page and Josh throws some interceptions and has some fumbles. That's the only time I might be like, oh no, could this be a really rough year for the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs combo? Yeah. Besides that, there's nothing I'm drawing from this game. Jets are a new team. Mm-hmm. Bills have been good in the past, so I don't want to spend too much time on that game. Now we're going to move into a little bit of overreaction, underreaction. We're each going to go through an overreaction we have from week 1. Again, overreaction doesn't mean we necessarily completely think this way, and then an underreaction where I'm not concerned. So we'll go around and do overreaction first. Peter, what is your overreaction for the week?
Overreaction is the Chiefs. They're terrible. They're washed. They don't have anybody. I'm kidding. But genuinely, like, the overreaction is like, if the Chiefs don't figure out their receiver situation, they are not going to be as good, period.
Yeah.
Because look, Travis Kelce is probably going to go down as, you can look at it as the greatest tight end of all time. Personally, I think there's more to a tight end position than just catching. But I think receiving wise, he is hands down, bar none, the greatest receiving tight end of all time. There is no debate there. Personally, Gronk's a better blocker and overall player, but whatever. But that's one guy. And when your number 2 option is Kadarius Toney, number 3 option is Sky Moore, and they combined for like 5 drops alone, you're not going to win games.
Yeah.
And their run game is fine. But that's, again, not going to win you games.
But it's not like they got dogs back there.
No, it's like they have Jerick McKinnon, and then they had Isaiah Pacheco. Well, Isaiah Pacheco is a dog.
He's a dog, but he's not like the dog.
Yeah, he's like kind of one of those. He's like an Australian Shepherd where they're like very, very, a lot of bark, and they like fight like cows and stuff. But like they can get thrown.
But has Pacheco ever really have 100 yards rushing?
I don't think so.
No,
he's a very angry runner though. He gets the yards. He is exactly the type of running back the Chiefs need when they have offensive weapons on the outside, and
which is not what they have.
They don't have that anymore. Because I think someone that was really underrated for them was Juju Smith-Schuster. He's on the Patriots now, and he was
even MVS was really big in the Super Bowl.
MVS, and again, I think MVS was playing today, or not today. He was playing on Thursday. But again, it's like when you only have one option and you can just throw 2 people on MVS, MVS is kind of going to get locked down. He's good. He's not that good though. And I think Juju was a great like third down option. He's always been a very reliable receiver where like you throw to him, he's going to catch it. Like,
it was today too. He had a few catches during the Eagles-Patriots game. That
exactly. But then, God. Yeah, I think the Chiefs just need to cut Kadarius Toney right now. He's a cancer. He already deleted his Twitter because he was too busy typing on Twitter on his burner account and yelling at Giants fans. They were like 12 years old, calling him stupid.
Yeah.
And he was trying to flex on him, and no one cared. But whatever, he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
overreaction
is the Chiefs 100%.
Yeah.
I think they need to. This could get bad. Of course, it's the Chiefs.
I think the big interesting overreaction is what if they're not good enough to win a division and they don't have home field advantage through the playoffs and they're on the road every game.
Yeah, they're not an Arrowhead. Because Arrowhead is a big home field advantage, and they lost to the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Raj, what's your overreaction for the week?
No, I don't really. I don't know if it's. I don't want this to sound like a hot take, but I don't know. I'm trying to make
this. It's the overreaction.
It is the overreaction.
Hot takes, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Hot take, overreaction. Like,
I wouldn't call it a hot take. I'm not. You're not the ones making a take on it.
No, it's just genuinely like, what are you overreacting to? Like, what do you think could be like? Oh, this could be something really important in the future.
I think this game for the Steelers proved nothing. I think this game was just a fluke game.
That's not an overreaction. That's an underreaction.
Oh shit. Well, Sam Howell is him.
Okay, so Raj has no overreaction.
Okay, so he didn't have a take today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll be back to him next week. My overreaction, on the other hand, is the Steelers. I think when you are getting all this attention about potentially being a sleeper team, Mike Tomlin doesn't You always winning record. Never had a losing season. All this kind of stuff. Kenny Pickett. Oh, he's going to be in his second year, and you come out and you drop a goose egg at home, and you've got the Bengals in your division because now the Steelers are down 0-1 in the division. They've lost the game. You've got the Bengals who. It's going to sound a little complicated. The Ravens won. They're going to be good. They're going to be in the fight.
Yep.
Now the Bengals are 0-1, and the best case for the Steelers was that the Bengals were going to be really good, like 17-0,
and then you just sneak into
you would get the wild card spot in there.
Yep.
But now you're going to have to play a Bengals team who's going to be more in the mix for the wild card spot, maybe not the division lead, and I think that's really scary for the Steelers. Their quarterback didn't look great today. That concerns me, and you're going to have a lot of tough interdivision games. Like, it's likely you could go 0-2 against the Bengals. You're going to play some tough Raven games. I think you really wanted to have a strong start to the season with Kenny Pickett, and now you've got to go into some other games. I don't know how hard their schedule is. Maybe it'll work out for them, but my overreaction is the Steelers had their first losing season with Mike Tomlin, and they're kind of scratching their head about what to do with the whole offense, especially second year, Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett. That'll be my overreaction. And then I guess that's Rodgers' underreaction. Do you want to say why you're underreacting to the Steelers' big loss?
I mean, your first game, they did play in the preseason. Kenny looked good, and, the analysts were like, oh, Steelers.
Perfect passer rating in the preseason.
Exactly.
They won the preseason.
Yeah. Congrats. The Ravens do that every season. But,
not this year.
Yeah.
Finally
you're
snapped
right.
the streak.
Sam Howell's him. But what I think is it's like, with the Steelers, you're put up against the best defense in the NFL, and they probably have a top 3 offense too.
From what it looks like so far, they might.
Yeah, if that is your first game of the season, obviously.
Sorry, I forgot. We completely forgot to. We glossed over the fact that Brandon Ayuk might have finally broken out after his 10th year of saying that he's going to break out. He actually might this year. Sorry, continue.
I know, but still, I think this game, it's like the punch in the mouth kind of analogy. The Steelers needed to be humbled a little bit. They'll figure out what's going wrong with them. And who are they playing next week? Does anyone know? Types of fast.
I like how I said all check. All of me.
Yeah, all of
us
us
for
it.
Browns.
They're screwed. But here's what I'll say, and that's part of my overreaction. If the Steelers lose to the Browns and the Browns are 2-0, and you're gonna have to play with the Bengals and Ravens, I think you are. Fortunately, the Ravens and Bengals play each other, but that's my overreaction. I just think it's a really tough loss.
Yep. So then we go to underreactions now.
Yep.
All right. Underreaction, Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow basically didn't play for the past 2 weeks because he had a hamstring thing.
Yeah.
It was like a hamstring thing. He just got paid $270 million guaranteed. The weather was awful out there. And what is their big thing that they like to do? Pass the ball. And what can't you do when it's pouring? Pass the ball.
Well, can Nick Chubb do it when it's pouring?
Run the ball. Yeah, that's just one of those divisional games that's like, look, it's the AFC North. They are the street rat division. It doesn't matter what record they are, they will fight each other to the death, and no matter how good or how bad some team is, it's going to be a close game. It's very, very rare for one of those games to really get out of hand. And I think it was just very obvious that they just had a lot of the Bengals had a lot of rust. They needed to figure some stuff out.
The Bengals were terrible to start last year too.
They were, and they were terrible.
And
then
they lost to the Steelers game 1.
They lost to the Steelers game 1. Everybody likes to ignore that. The Steelers were bad, and then somehow it's there's that hilarious picture of Jamar Chase flipping off Minkah Fitzpatrick, and then Minkah Fitzpatrick blocks the extra point and wins the game basically. So it's one of those games. It's the AFC North. Don't read into it too much. They'll figure it out. It's the Bengals.
Yep.
They will figure it out. They have way too much on offense to not figure it out.
Yeah, I think worst case scenario, you're looking at a wild card spot in the playoffs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You'll still make it.
Yeah. My big underreaction, and maybe it's not a crazy, I'm underreacting, is I could be less concerned about the Vikings. I was not impressed by the Bears. I was not impressed by the Lions and the Packers. I'm not going to take too many conclusions away from that game. So I think the Vikings are absolutely fine. If you don't have 2 fumbles, you win the game.
Yeah.
They're probably going to go 0-2 because they're playing the Eagles next week. But after that, I think you can string some wins together. Division games, I think you'll win the division.
Yeah.
I'm just not concerned about the Vikings. I actually thought their offense looked really good today. Aside from those turnovers with Kirk. So.
Yeah, and a lot of those, it's like those will get cleaned up pretty quick. Like that's literally just like, hey, Kirk, can you make sure that your hand is actually just on this guy's nuts to make sure you get the ball?
Yep.
Like that's just like whatever.
So could not be concerned about the Vikings. And for what it's worth, they held the Bucs to 20 points today, which is better than they were holding teams at the end of last year. So could not be concerned about the Vikings.
No.
So those are our over-under reactions. We'll see how they hold up throughout the year.
Yep.
A little segment of Raj's betting corner. Raj, did you have anything that you want to say? We will preface, we are all 21 years of age. We are betting in the state of Pennsylvania. Do not take any of our advice. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. These are just our opinions and something we do for fun. We do not bet with big money. We bet with small amounts of money to just have some fun and make games more interesting.
Don't gamble with money you don't have.
Exactly. But one of my parlays, so my cousin has this AI thing that he uses for sports betting.
We're already starting with AI. Bro, like, what are we doing?
And basically, what the computer said was...
Paul, you could not have said a worse start.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so okay, first of all, this isn't you looking this up. This is your cousin who is talking to an AI to tell you what to bet.
And I made the bet.
And we just said how you should bet smart.
Yeah. And I made the bet. And it was a smart bet up until, the Colts decided not to cover the spread towards the end of the game.
That honestly, that could have easily happened. If Anthony Richardson doesn't go down there, I think he just barrels his way into the end zone.
If Richardson didn't get hurt, this bet would have cashed, which was Colts +4, Bucks +4, Browns +1.
What was this line on that?
It was +575.
Okay, yeah.
This is a parlay. Yeah. So that was that. Honestly, this may be the smartest bets I ever make.
And that's saying something.
Yeah.
Because you used an AI.
Exactly. But, Jokovic, he was going to win anyways.
Tennis.
Yeah. Wow, we
just really
full
flipped
NFL
the script.
pod, and you just
you just jumped into tennis real quick.
Coconut Curry Pod loves tennis.
We love tennis here. Well, actually, who just won the women's?
Coco Gauff.
Oh yeah, she was electric.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then let's see, my college football parlay plus 2,890. Only one leg didn't hit.
Yeah, that was the worst loss.
Thank you, Wisconsin.
That one was terrible because Raj loves his 10 to 15 leg parlays.
Put down 50 cents.
Put down 50 cents to win 5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something dumb.
Of course, it's always one team that decides just, you know what, this week I don't want to play. And Wisconsin, you are that team. You are Raj's.
I love when it's a big when all everything hits and it's just all the people that are underdogs and then the big favorite loses and you're kidding me because
exactly.
It happened when I was betting the Women's World Cup during the World Cup, and I bet Canada to win their game, and they lost to some scrubs in the first game, and I was like, out of all teams to lose, it was Canada. They're the ones who screwed me over. So
who's playing Thursday night football this week?
Thursday night.
It's the Eagles Vikings.
Eagles Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, I think a solid lay would be Eagles are going to win the game, so I'd bet Eagles money line. Not advice. I'm just saying what I would personally bet. Please don't follow my betting advice. I'm not that good at this. But I would go Eagles money line. I would go the over. Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so these are the week 2 games. So you got Vikings, Eagles. Do not bet.
Avoid any AFC North matchups. They can go either way.
Any rivalry games, just don't bet on. It's always so weird. Except for anything against the Giants in division, bet against them.
Yes.
I actually, I don't know what the line is. I'd like to see it, but I think an interesting line to fade is the 49ers and Rams. 49ers are going to the Rams after a big win. If that line is pretty big, if you're getting 7.5 or something like that, I think you could take the Rams.
Yeah.
In that game. What about some futures that you like? I really like Tyreek Hill for Offensive Player of the Year. I think
that could be a good one.
Really interesting play.
DeMar Hamlin, Comeback Player of the Year.
That's free.
It is.
That's literally free.
The odds are -800 for him right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wait, we got two. Wait,
what's up?
We got Browns, Steelers, and
we got a double AFC North matchup.
Yeah, it's the double AFC North. I think
a lot of. Oh my god, there's a lot of rivalries.
Chargers, Titans. I think that could be a game where you can.
I would take Chargers money line, and I would take Austin Eckler anytime touchdown.
Anytime touchdown, maybe even a Keenan Allen anytime touchdown
with the over on Herbert passing yards.
Yeah.
For the Eagles Vikings game going on that, I like the Eagles just money line. I wouldn't bet any spread, and then I really like the AJ Brown over on receiving yards. He had a tough game today. the Vikings secondary is not
I
good.
would honestly throw in Devontae Smith over on like receptions too.
Yeah, maybe.
And for the Commanders Broncos, just take the under. It's
Yeah,
not going to be a
just
high
take the
scoring
under.
game. Just take the under, please. For
I
the love
wonder
of God.
what the I
What-
can look at it. What
yeah,
the
what the-
over under is for that.
Yeah, what the
game.
line is.
Real quick.
It can't be that high.
I don't think they published it yet, did they?
No,
Oh, they would. They would
they
have.
would?
Yeah.
Yeah, already.
Those books open as soon as that over under might have been available before the week came up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The game's already decided. I'll go look it up.
You're
Yeah.
right. We may sleep, but gambling never does.
Yeah, we love Vegas, right? Boy, do we love them. But yeah,
Oh, I got it.
please-
It is.
yeah, Commanders Broncos. Those are both
Am I
good
slow?
defenses with bad offenses. Hammer the under.
Commanders, Broncos.
Of course, I'm going to say that now, and then they are going to just somehow
I
pop
can't
off.
see it. Commanders, Broncos.
I found it. The over under is 40.
Oh my God, that's
Wow.
terrible!
So,
Holy,
They're
The
giving
spread's
they're
3.5.
giving Denver favored by 3.5. Which number one? I love the Commanders plus 3.5.
wait, wait,
You're getting
what?
a full field goal on the
Oh my
Commanders in a
God,
low scoring
yeah,
game.
Commanders. Actually, would both teams score under 20?
Oh, we got Saints Patriots.
That's
too.
like a crazy like
That's a crazy line.
Yeah,
I
mean,
didn't know it was that
Panthers.
low. I thought it was going to be like at least like 30.
Ooh, we have Chiefs. Jaguars.
real okay. Hold on, real quick. I just want to mention I didn't expect to get this deep into the betting corner. Miami and Patriots are 45.5.
Hammer the over. Oh my God.
Yeah. After the Patriots put up like 20 so on the Eagles defense today, and the Dolphins had a light show against.
Yeah.
Against
The
the Chargers.
Chargers.
Hammer the
Oh,
over.
I'm gonna like Christian Gonzalez versus Tyree.
Wow, we got
Yeah.
some low score like 42.5, 40.5.
Well, I mean, think about how bad the games were. Like,
Yeah.
it was a very low score. Besides, obviously, besides the Chargers and Miami and the ass whooping in MetLife,
Mhm.
very low scoring games.
Yeah, I actually like a lot of these overs. I think maybe
And
there's some
Jags, of course.
overreaction to some of the games, but
Mhm.
I might say I might like the Commanders, and I still
Yeah,
might like the
Commanders,
Commanders.
and genuinely with a line at 40, you might have to take the over.
Yeah.
like just that is so.
but it does
aggressive.
give you pause where you're
Yeah.
like,
well,
Bills,
because I guess
Jets
there were
at
2 games
45.5.
today that
the
were
Broncos
sad.
barely score over 18, so it's like, how do you?
Because who did the Broncos play again today? The Raiders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, yeah, they're gonna score like 2 points.
Yeah.
Never mind. The Commanders' defense is way better than the Raiders.
Oh,
Yeah.
they gave him a 425 slot too.
They gave him a good. Oh my God, they gave him an actual decent slot.
Hear me
Good
out.
Lord.
Sam Howell's the truth, guys.
No, he's not.
Commanders winning the NFC
Look,
East.
I think he's fine. I think he's just like aggressively fine. See how I didn't say aggressively?
Yeah.
because that's our,
Yep.
that's our crutch we've been using.
yeah. That'll end the betting corner again. Just a reminder: don't take our bets.
Trust me,
don't take advice.
don't.
If you don't bet money you don't have. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem. We are all 21 and betting in the state of Pennsylvania. That'll be it for the episode. We thank you all for watching and welcome to our new podcast, Coconut Prairie Podcast. We'll be having a lot of new
Did you
things.
say coconut curry again?
Maybe?
Coconut curry.
I can't talk sometimes.
Repeat
Coconut
after
Curry
Justin.
podcast.
Do not.
We'll be
Repeat after me.
pause. We will have a lot of new things coming in due time as we get a little bit more comfortable with the podcast setup. More frequent uploads will be here, maybe twice a week. Definitely weekly from here on out as we got adjusted to our new semester at college. Please, if you're new around here, like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. And otherwise, we'll see you during week 2, breakdown of the NFL.
Nothing but pain as a Giants fan.
Go Birds.
I love my life.